Welcome to Bloomington. My name is Kerry Thomson, and it is my great honor to serve as the mayor of the city of Bloomington. I want to welcome everyone here today and thank the members of the media for your interest in what is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm excited to be part of this joint announcement today, not only because of the incredible variety of events that we've planned around the Eclipse as a community, but also because of the amazing teamwork and collaboration we've had in putting these public safety plans together. The city, IU, Monroe County Community School Corporation, and Indiana State Police have all been working together seamlessly to ensure that every resident, every student, and every one of the expected 300,000 visitors can enjoy the Eclipse safely here in Bloomington. There's no better place to witness the Eclipse than right here in Bloomington, where we're going to prove that to everyone on April 8th. As you may know, there are a whole host of events planned starting Friday, April 5th, all the way through the Eclipse at 3:04 p.m. on April 8th. We encourage everyone to check out the Visit Bloomington website or the city's website for a listing of those events and places to view the Eclipse. This event brings a tremendous economic opportunity for our community. Our hotels, restaurants, and shops will certainly be full. But it also brings concerns about traffic and general safety. And that's what today is all about, our plans to work together to keep our community safe. From the city's perspective, I want to report that our police force will be all hands on deck starting April 6th through the Eclipse, with 50+ officers working. Our fire department will also add 12 additional personnel for those days and utilize administrative staff and our MIH to cover all fire stations at all times, even when apparatus is out on calls. Working with the other public safety agencies, we'll utilize our technology and communication equipment to maneuver around traffic. I also want to announce that due to the anticipated challenges with traffic, all city facilities, including City Hall, will be closed to the public on April 8th. Employees will work remotely. The city will have 2 after-hours ambassadors and the AHA program manager available for downtown hospitality, outreach, and resources, and we'll have some staff available at City Hall to staff phones and address concerns. Public Works will provide and coordinate sanitation, parking, and traffic management services in coordination with the other local agencies and institutions represented here today. The Sanitation Division will be providing and placing additional trash and recycling receptacles throughout the community, and our Street Division will be on call and ready to assist with traffic control leading up to, during, and after the actual eclipse. On a final note, viewing the eclipse from the top levels of parking garages will not be allowed due to safety issues. So we encourage all residents to plan ahead and go to one of the designated viewing sites throughout the community. City leadership from the police department, fire department, parks department, and public works are here with me today to answer additional questions as well. And before I pass the mic to Ben Hunter with IU, I want to again thank this entire team for their work to get us ready for this huge event. Bloomington will shine through the darkness as we show the world the welcoming and vibrant community that we are. Thank you.
Good morning. As the mayor stated, I'm Benjamin Hunter. I'm the Associate Vice President for Public Safety at Indiana University. So I want to thank our partners in Bloomington and Indianapolis and elsewhere in the state for joining us today. The last total solar eclipse in Indiana occurred more than 150 years ago, and it is truly a historic event for our university and our state. On behalf of Indiana University, I can say that our excitement to have 6 campuses uniquely positioned in the path of totality provides us the opportunity to underscore our vision to be transformative, innovative, and world-class in research and scholarship while highlighting the creativity and activity on our campuses. We're looking forward to much anticipation to joining our communities in celebrating this once-in-a-lifetime event here at Indiana University. We're not alone in this feeling. Indiana is within 1 day driving distance of 70% of the United States, and millions of people are expected to travel here to celebrate with us. To best support our communities and our visitors, there is a comprehensive and unprecedented effort by those in public safety to ensure this event is a success. IU Public Safety has been working with our colleagues in Bloomington and Indianapolis, as well as with the Department of Homeland Security, the Indiana Department of Transportation, the Department of Natural Resources, and state and local fire and police departments and emergency management agencies throughout central Indiana. We have an outstanding record of accomplishments working with our partners to host large events and athletic contests, and we are ready to host you and others here on our campus. To better assist us, we've learned from universities and communities that have been in the path of totality in previous years. We know that the rareness and beauty of this event could increase populations by 3 or 4 times. And in fact, the Eclipse could bring us several hundreds of thousands of people to Bloomington, and we've heard estimates up to 1 million in the Indianapolis region. Our other campuses in Columbus, Richmond, and Evansville and Kokomo could also see thousands of visitors. All of this is to say that we know, rain or shine, we're going to have some guests on April 8th. And that is exciting for us, and as we will show off our vibrant campuses to hopefully millions of visitors. With each event, the mission of IU Public Safety has not changed. We're committed, as always, to providing the greatest possible degree of safety for all students, faculty, staff, and visitors on every Indiana University campus. With this mission at the forefront of all we do, our planning for the total eclipse has been in the works for the past 3 years. As I stated earlier, for Indiana, it's been over 150 years since we've had such an unprecedented event. So every department within IU Public Safety has had a role to play in planning, and they will actively be involved on our campuses on April 8th and throughout that previous weekend. But the entire campus, from facility operations, events, student life, dining, athletics, parking operations, and resident hall services and others have been coordinating to ensure our readiness. We've held 4 scenario-based tabletop exercises within public safety that have invited external partners in the Bloomington and Indianapolis area for our campuses. There have been nearly 20 subcommittees devoted to eclipse planning at Indiana University. In Bloomington and Indianapolis on April 8th, our emergency operations centers will be active and ready to help coordinate our response. We also plan to provide alerts to visitors who opt in to receive emergency texts during the eclipse weekend. In Bloomington, we'll have first aid stations positioned throughout the campuses in 3 locations. A pedestrian boulevard will be announced by future key closing of streets. And additionally, officers will utilize motorcycles, bicycles, golf carts, and other means to maneuver around traffic. IUPD will also pre-stage police vehicles along the bypass and 17th Street to assist with traffic congestion before, during, and after the event. As law enforcement emergency management professionals, safety is always top of mind. But we also know it's everyone's responsibility to be prepared, and we're asking the public to plan ahead as well. If you travel to any eclipse event throughout central Indiana and southern Indiana, plan to arrive early, stay where you are, and get home late. Gas up and charge up your vehicle in advance, pack water, snacks, and an emergency kit to be ready, bring prescription medications, and plan for child and pet care. It will be also important to practice patience. And remember, at the end of this extraordinary experience, we want you to get home safe to your family and friends. With the public's help, our extensive preparation, and so many local and state officials coming together, Indiana University is ready for an incredible eclipse weekend. The highlight may be the actual eclipse, but this is also an opportunity to show off our beautiful campuses. So I'll now turn it over to Sergeant Getz with the Indiana State Police.
I'm Sergeant Kevin Getz with the Indiana State Police. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Bloomington District. I'd like to reiterate to our citizens here locally and also to the mayor and Mr. Hunter that the Bloomington District, as well as the Indiana State Police as a whole, has been preparing for the total solar eclipse for some time, for several months. The Bloomington District is committed to the public safety of those who are coming to our community, and our district will be on hands on deck, just like all the other law enforcement and EMS agencies as well. Our primary focus is going to be on the U.S. highways, the interstate, and state roads. Bloomington is basically a microcosm of what Indiana is. We are a crossroads community. We have an interstate that runs through us. We have several state roads, and we have several state parks in this area. So we anticipate, as the mayor has spoken and Mr. Hunter, we anticipate a large influx of folks to our communities. One of the things I would like to really emphasize to those who are coming, please do not pull off the side of the road to observe the total solar eclipse. We will have troopers scattered throughout our district on those roadways, positioned to be able to handle emergency situations. Certainly there might be some fender benders, there might be some crashes. We need to be able to get through to those, and folks who just decide to pull over and park, that's going to create a hazard and a problem for us when we need to respond to something. So we're asking folks, have your location where you plan on viewing this predetermined, get there early. I think it goes without saying, yes, we're going to have a large influx of people in this community. Be patient. Everybody's coming to see it. When it's over with, it's much like the 500. They all want to be the first ones to leave. Be patient. Allow yourself plenty of time. I'm not going to reiterate what Mr. Hunter said. However, I will say this. Those of us that have lived in Indiana for some time, we know April brings all different kinds of weather. It might be sunny. We might have rain. We may have snow. We're asking folks be prepared for whatever weather contingency might happen or occur upon us. So really, we are fully prepared for this. We've been working with the mayor's office. We've been working with our law enforcement partners and our IU partners to make sure we want everyone who's coming to this wonderful community of ours to enjoy this experience, this once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Or Sergeant, could you reiterate, as far as what do you believe will be the biggest challenge out of all of this? What do you think will be the biggest challenge come that day?
From our perspective, because we have been in communication with several other agencies that, as I understand, in 2017 we had a partial eclipse. We've been in communication with those agencies that had to handle that. From an Indiana State Police perspective, it's going to be traffic. There's going to be such a large volume of traffic and people who expect to be able to get to their final destination by a certain time. That may not happen because of the huge volume of traffic. And that's where we really want to emphasize to people, be patient. Now with I-69 up to Indianapolis being, it's such a short time to get up there, it may not take under an hour to get there. And just understand that it's going to take us a while to get everybody out of Bloomington and into their final destination.
For both of you, or whichever one, I mean, can you put this into perspective as far as the planning? I mean, we have the Indy 500 every year, but if we're talking several 100,000 people just in Bloomington, millions of people, I mean, is there a comparison to the size of event planning for this one?
I think there's a distinct difference between the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which I know we've both been involved over the years in that planning because, it's a long-term event. We know people are going to leave at the end of the event. We know the traffic congestion. The difference here is people are going to show up the weekend before. And so they're going to come, they're going to celebrate. We know that hotels are starting to fill up here or have filled up. We've been planning for 3 years. And in addition to the traffic congestion that can be expected, we ask people to be patient because even for a venue here, when we fill this venue at 52,000 people for a game or people tailgating, you can't get a cell phone connection. And so when you bring a lot of people into one area, they're all going to be fighting for that network. And so we're asking people to be patient and plan ahead. Plan ahead so you know if your children are not with you or your pets are not with you, that those things are taken care of because you may get stuck in traffic. We're going to do our best to let everyone have a great time. We want to have a great time, but part of that is the exit strategy and getting people home. We've been working with the state police, the city of Bloomington. We have plans in place, but we just have a lot of people that are going to cause congestion, and that's to be expected for any large event, but our goal is to get you home.
Even with the extra staffing you guys have, I mean, do you even still have enough people to handle the crowds and things like that?
I think so. Between the city of Bloomington, the Indiana State Police, we'll have about 65 IU police officers here just on this campus. We have other IU police officers throughout the state on our other campuses. We have partnerships with the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, Columbus, Richmond, Evansville. So we have spent 3 years of planning, and the state police have been just an outstanding partner to us, and so we have talked to them about I-69. I'll let them speak to that, and I can't say enough about Chief Dekoff and the Bloomington and the city of Bloomington overall and the planning efforts. But you know, it's going to be a large event, and we expect people to come to Bloomington, and that's a great thing. We want you to come. We just feel that you need to be ready and be prepared.
And certainly from an Indiana State Police perspective, we all understand that Indiana is going to be a prime viewing location for this. This is not just a Bloomington district issue, and certainly the Indiana State Police as a whole, we have been planning for this, and so we have several districts that are going to be involved with our response to that. Back to your question with regards to the Indianapolis is an interesting comparison, but that's a yearly event, and we have a plan for that every year. We know how that functions. We know what the traffic pattern is supposed to be. We know what's coming when people come to the Indianapolis 500. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event where, you know, we don't have a game plan already prepared for this. So we've had to really work with our partners and come up with our plan so that we assure everyone to have a safe and really wonderful experience here, specifically in Bloomington, when it comes to this total solar eclipse.
I assume because you don't know what to expect necessarily, there's still some unknowns out there that you just probably can't prepare for necessarily.
Absolutely, and from a law enforcement perspective, and I know this is on the Chief Dekoff's mind as well, we still also have other law enforcement duties we have to be able to perform. We're still going to have to take calls. We're still going to have to respond to emergent situations as they happen. And that's really why we want to emphasize to people, please be patient. Allow for us to get to where we need to go so that we can respond to those emergent situations. You know, crime, violence, domestic violence, those calls are not going to stop just because of the total solar eclipse. So we still have those duties to perform as well on top of this.
Two more from the podium. Ashton, do you have?
I know you touched on potential cell issues. I know we had an outage not too long ago. Is there a specific plan, like a backup plan in case, there is widespread? I mean, having people in the area is probably going to limit the service like you mentioned, but is there additional steps that might be taken?
Yeah, we've been in contact, obviously, with the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, IPSC as well. And obviously, as part of our tabletops, we've planned for a cell phone outage, or at least it throttled to be down a little bit. We've also planned even for our internet, connections here. So things and steps have been put in place. But when we bring a lot of visitors and they're in one spot or they're dispersed, and still it's a strain to the network. And so that's why we're asking folks to be patient, be prepared, and really rely on the fact that that text message or that call may be important than the Instagram post of the solar eclipse in that moment, right? But we know that society is we love instant communication. We know that will be slowed down. So we want people to be patient. From a law enforcement standpoint, we are prepared. I mean, we have multiple networks that we will operate from. At Indiana University, we have a secondary network for radio communications, and we've deployed people throughout our campuses and along the bypass and have anticipated that there could be communication issues. We do that for every large event, so that's not new for us. Emergency management at IU plans and prepares for that. And so we're just executing on those plans.
One more.
Will there be any designated reunification locations for families who might get separated from other members of their family?
Emergency management will have those plans. We'll announce that closer to the eclipse, but all of that is in place because we do that for any major event or any disaster that may strike any of our campuses.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about, you'd mentioned a pedestrian walkway of sorts. Can you tell me where that's going to be, and is there any concern that emergency traffic might be held up because of that, or are there like routes around it, or where's it going to be?
I can't tell you where it will be because I don't want to. it's anticipation, right? Those plans are still being worked out, so those will be announced later. And so
On
IU will work
campus
through on
or
campus.
on campus?
We'll work through that. We'll make the appropriate announcements
You'll
as it
let
gets
us know
closer.
ahead of time?
Yeah, but in terms of emergency routes, yes, we are planning for that. And whether it's a pedestrian walkway or our streets congested, we'll have golf carts, we'll have motorcycles. The only thing we aren't deploying is horseback. So we have everything. We're ready to respond. The hospital on the bypass is obviously a priority for both the city of Bloomington and Indiana University. So we're continuing to work with emergency management, IU Health, and all of that to make sure that folks get where they need to be. But I know we're here in Bloomington, but we're also doing that in Indianapolis. There's more than one hospital located on the IU Indianapolis campus. So additionally, we're making those plans to make sure that people can get to our medical facilities located on our campuses.